In the 1970s, the American Northeast, especially cities like Philadelphia and towns like Cherry Hill, New Jersey, witnessed the rise of a unique figure who blurred the lines between legitimate politics and the criminal underworld. His name was Major Benjamin Coxson, often called simply Major Coxson. He was a flashy, sharply dressed African-American businessman, self-styled politician, and alleged gangster who claimed to stand for black empowerment while simultaneously rubbing shoulders with infamous crime lords, including members of the Italian-American mafia and drug kingpins. Major Coxson was born in the 1920s and came of age during a time of deep racial segregation and economic struggle for African Americans in the United States. But by the 1960s and 1970s, he had made a name for himself in Philadelphia. Coxson presented himself as a successful entrepreneur. He lived in Cherry Hill, a suburban town in southern New Jersey that was predominantly white at the time. His presence there was unusual. He was one of the only black residents in an affluent neighborhood, and he drove around in flashy Cadillacs and Rolls-Royces. But Coxson was more than just a wealthy businessman. He styled himself as a political activist, a community leader, and even a would-be presidential candidate. He often spoke of black self-determination and empowerment, aligning himself with elements of the civil rights movement, but his personal associations suggested he was far more embedded in criminal enterprise than public service. What set Coxson apart was his dual identity. He was both a political hopeful and a man with deep alleged ties to organized crime. He reportedly acted as a liaison between the Italian-American mafia and the black criminal underworld, particularly heroin traffickers in the Northeast. Coxson was associated with the notorious Black Mafia, a Philadelphia-based criminal organization that dominated heroin distribution and other rackets in the city during the 1960s and 1970s. And according to law enforcement, Coxson also had ties to Angelo Bruno, the Philadelphia mob boss known as the Gentle Don. Bruno's mafia family was said to have worked with Coxson in heroin deals, using him as a middleman who could bridge racial and criminal gaps. This made Coxson a valuable figure in underworld circles. He was seen as someone who could move weight, mediate disputes, and distribute drug territory while maintaining an image of political respectability. But in 1972, Major Coxson made what many considered a bizarre and overly ambitious move. He declared himself a candidate for the presidency of the United States. Though few took his campaign seriously, Coxson used it to raise his profile and further his influence. He held campaign events, printed promotional material, and gave speeches about economic justice, civil rights, and black independence. He framed himself as a community savior and presented a picture of legitimacy to cover up the criminal dealings beneath the surface. Many now believe this political move was also a strategy to launder money, increase protection through public visibility, and form alliances that would shield him from law enforcement scrutiny. Coxson was known for his luxurious lifestyle. He lived in an elegant home in Cherry Hill, threw extravagant parties, and was often seen with celebrities, politicians, and mobsters. He was known to wear custom-tailored suits, large gold rings, and drove around in the latest cars. To some in the black community, Coxson was a symbol of success, a man who had made it in a system rigged against him. But others viewed him as a con man, a hustler who used the guise of civil rights to cover up a criminal empire. However, everything came full circle on June 8, 1973, when Major Coxson was gunned down in his Cherry Hill home in one of the most notorious murders in South Jersey history. And according to reports, at around 4 a.m., a group of armed men broke into his home, tied up several people, and executed Coxson and two others. He was shot multiple times, including in the head. The attackers also tortured and beat others who were present, including family members and children. His daughter survived the attack. The murder was brutal and methodical, clearly a professional hit. Investigators suspected that the motive was connected to a large-scale heroin deal gone wrong. Coxson allegedly owed money to other drug traffickers, possibly $100,000 or more, and had failed to deliver on a major drug shipment. The killers were reportedly trying to send a message. The suspects were believed to be associated with the Black Mafia, and some evidence pointed to a retaliatory hit orchestrated by drug lords with whom Coxson had done business. The killings made national headlines and were a source of both fear and fascination. Coxson's murder marked a turning point in Philadelphia's criminal underworld. It exposed the dangerous intersection of black empowerment rhetoric, political ambition, and deep criminal entanglements. For the FBI and Philadelphia police, his murder confirmed what they had long suspected: that Major Coxson was a key figure in the heroin trade and that his political ambitions were likely a cover for illicit operations. However, to this day, his murder remains officially unsolved. Though several suspects were identified, no one was ever convicted for the killings. The case faded into obscurity over the decades but remains a haunting chapter in New Jersey and Philadelphia's criminal history. In closing, some would say that Major Coxson was a man of contradictions, a businessman and a gangster, a politician and a criminal, a visionary and a manipulator. His rise was swift, fueled by ambition, charm, and connections. But his fall was brutal, the result of betrayal, greed, and the violent world he helped to create. He lived like a king and died like a gangster, and left behind a story that still echoes in the annals of American criminal and political history. Now, as always, we would like to know what you think about this video down below in the comment section. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.